Welcome to this video about an introduction to dyslexia, part 1 of 4, Basic Awareness. Specific Learning Difficulties. Specific Learning Difficulties, SPLD, is the term used in the SEND Code of Practice to describe a range of generally higher incidence difficulties with specific aspects of learning, occurring across the range of broader intellectual abilities. Difficulties within this area of need may include processing difficulties, working memory difficulties, persistent literacy difficulties, dyspraxia, dyscalculia, and dysgraphia. SPLD, breaking it down. Let's think about each part of this term separately. Specific. This means that dyslexia only affects particular parts of an individual's overall learning abilities. Quite often, this includes their ability to acquire literacy skills. An individual's ability to learn other things is likely to be unaffected. It is important to remember also that moderate learning difficulties are very different, referring to an individual's ability to learn most things, and are linked to an overall lower level of cognitive ability. Learning. In simple terms, this means an individual's ability to understand something. It does not mean that they can't learn it, just that they may have difficulty in the act of learning it. Although the initial process of acquiring some skills may be challenging, it is not necessarily impossible. And difficulty. The degree of difficulty that an individual may have will depend on a whole range of factors, both associated with dyslexia and those unrelated to dyslexia. SPLD Overview. Dyslexia is marked by difficulties with phonological awareness, verbal memory, and verbal processing speed. It is best thought of as a continuum, not a distinct category, and there are no clear cutoff points. Dyspraxia is a form of developmental coordination disorder, typically affecting fine and/or gross motor coordination. Sometimes speech can also be affected. Dyscalculia is characterized by significant difficulties with learning basic arithmetic facts, processing numerical magnitude, and performing accurate and fluent calculations. Dysgraphia is marked by significant difficulties with writing, including handwriting that is illegible or very difficult to read. Defining dyslexia. The good news is that dyslexia is a particularly lively area of research, and this in turn means that new theories and support approaches appear frequently. The bad news is that it can make dyslexia appear particularly complicated and confusing. We are focusing in this video on developing a basic awareness. This includes the following key points. Dyslexia is a learning difficulty that primarily affects the skills involved in accurate and fluent word reading and spelling. It is characterized by difficulties with phonological processing, rapid naming, working memory, processing speed, and the automatic development of skills. And dyslexia occurs across the range of intellectual abilities and social, cultural, and economic backgrounds. Statistics. According to the British Dyslexia Association, around 1 in 10 people, 10% of the population, have dyslexia. Individuality and dyslexia. Naturally, no two individuals with dyslexia will be the same. Each person will be shaped by their own unique pattern of strengths and abilities, their life experiences and opportunities, their personality, and the unique pattern of their own dyslexia. Read the colour, not the word. Left and right brain hemispheres. This activity allows you to establish the differences between both hemispheres of the brain. The left hemisphere of the brain is responsible for the conscious thought and logical reasoning. The right hemisphere is responsible for the creative tasks. Because the teaser is say the word, not the colour, it automatically triggers your left hemisphere into saying the word, not the colour. Tasks of the left and right brain. Dyslexia and right brain dominance. It is possible that many dyslexic people are right brain dominant. Many dyslexic people are good at big picture thinking, spotting patterns, and taking a more open and creative approach to problem solving. Dyslexic people are also often holistic rather than linear thinkers. While memorizing facts may be difficult, dyslexic people often have the ability to integrate personal experiences with acquired knowledge to generate new ideas. They can make great team players and be extremely creative pupils with artistic gifts and an intuitive sense of spatial organization. That's because visual thinking and spatial reasoning are both associated with right brain thinking. We will explore further some strengths of dyslexia in a moment. Strengths of dyslexia. When developing an awareness and basic understanding about dyslexia, it's very important for teachers and support staff to recognize that most dyslexic pupils will have one or more standout strengths. Seeing the bigger picture. People with dyslexia often see things more holistically. They miss the trees, but see the forest. Finding the odd one out. People with dyslexia often excel at global visual processing and the detection of impossible figures. Improved pattern recognition. People with dyslexia often have the ability to see how multiple things connect to form complex systems. Such strengths can be of particular significance for fields like science and mathematics, where visual representations are key. Good spatial knowledge. Many people with dyslexia demonstrate better skills at manipulating 3D objects in their mind. Many of the world's top architects and fashion designers have dyslexia. Picture thinkers. People with dyslexia tend to think in pictures rather than words, including enhanced picture recognition memory. Highly creative. Many dyslexic people are highly imaginative and creative. Thinking outside the box. People with dyslexia can have sudden leaps of insight that solve problems in an unorthodox way. This is an intuitive approach to problem solving that can seem like daydreaming. Staring out of the window is how dyslexics work, letting their brain slide into neutral and ease itself around a problem to let connections assemble. Difficulties. Dyslexic pupils can also experience a range of barriers to learning, which are usually closely linked with their learning differences. This typically includes difficulties with literacy, working and short-term memory, and processing that usually affect reading, writing, spelling, and organizational skills. Some dyslexic pupils might also experience difficulties with maths, spatial and temporal difficulties, and motor coordination difficulties. Some simple infographic posters can help you, pupils, and parents and carers to understand some of the common difficulties that dyslexic pupils can experience. The potential emotional impact of dyslexia. Unfortunately, being dyslexic can sometimes lead pupils to develop feelings which can affect their well-being and progress. For some dyslexic pupils, this can include heightened anxiety, especially with learning, and sometimes learning in specific subjects, low self-esteem, and feelings of frustration and anger, leading to disengagement from learning. A combination of strengths of abilities and difficulties. In summary, dyslexia is a learning difference within the wider, wonderful umbrella of neurodiversity. Within SEND, we recognize this as a type of specific learning difficulty under the category of cognition and learning. Dyslexic pupils will typically present with a range of strengths and specific difficulties. These pupils, like all humans, are unique. The foundation for helping dyslexic pupils to maintain their well-being and to achieve their full potential is to ensure that we have a good basic awareness of dyslexia. This is the end of this video. Parts 2, 3, and 4 on this topic are now available to watch. You can view more videos on this channel in the About series.